Well, not Aladdin himself, but
It's
the
funny.
genie whole concept of feel like you can rub my head and I can give you some wishes.
Hey, no one's gonna
Yeah,
complain
no,
about that.
I don't want nobody to rub my head. I would have so many whole concept.
No one's gonna complain about you rubbing your head or whatever.
How what?
I said no one is going to complain about that.
Yeah, but I don't want nobody rubbing my head.
Yeah. Well, not right now, especially with the whole social distancing. All right, people got to stay back. You know, can't wear
Yeah,
no high. He said he can't wear no high heels anymore either.
me neither. Ola.
Yeah, Shannon is that girl.
House party.
Everybody loves them some Shannon, don't they?
Hey, you gotta go on my page and play my game.
What game is that?
Oh,
Is it one of those put select?
it's the quarantine game where you can only use emojis to describe to for the titles of movies.
Oh, okay,
People are cracking me up.
okay.
Oh my god, it's so funny. And then I just did one for music too.
Oh, okay.
I think this is gonna be my post with the most comments this year.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm a. Let me go take a look at it. Kinte, don't faint. I set up my desktop again. Oh, what? I can't believe it. Wait, I'm about to
Don't
faint.
be fancy.
I'm about to faint.
We need
I
to
have a friend who wants your number.
my number.
Yeah,
Is this a good guy?
he has a living girlfriend. So,
Oh, heck no. What?
so
I feel like I'm being punked.
nah, hey, look, I mentioned that to a friend of mine, right? And she was like, "Well, you got to at least tell her." I'm like, I didn't say nothing because I'm like, well, it's a mute point. He has a girlfriend.
Wait,
Yeah.
he said you need to at least tell her?
No, a friend of mine, she said that I was wrong for not telling you at least.
Your friend said that?
Not him. I'm talking about another
No.
person.
But still, one of your friends said that you were wrong?
Yeah, for not even sharing that with you.
Oh, tell your friend. I can't even consider them a friend right now.
Right.
That's dumb.
But you know what? That's a good question to ask uh tonight is am I an asshole for not
I need to step off for 1 minute. Just keep talking. I
all
can
right.
hear you. I need to get off the camera. Hold on.
Okay. Oh yeah, huh? SL, right. And you know what? I might go in there with you. Olaf. One night we might go into SL if my avatar is still any good. Um but yeah, we let's do that one night. Me and Miosha been playing video games. Tonight we're gonna play we played Resident Evil 6, the Chris campaign. We beat it, and now we're gonna play Leon tonight. and we're gonna beat that one too. So I broadcast the first half. I didn't broadcast the second half. So like okay. So I'll say this. I'll say it again. So years ago, I had a friend of mine who had a okay, this woman I know who has a lot of bad luck with men, right? Um
Okay.
so there's this guy I know who wanted to talk to her. I know that this dude is no good, right? Like I mean he's a cool friend, but he'd be a terrible boyfriend, right? Because
Okay.
he's the kind of person he is, right? So I basically didn't tell the truth to basically poo poo it, right? Because I know her. She's the kind of person that would have fallen for his BS and then it would have been an issue and whatever. So I basically poo pooed it on both sides, right?
Uh,
So then years later, he's like married and shit, right? Now they actually talked and they realized that I basically cock blocked it, right?
okay.
And so then the question was like, was I an asshole for that? Because I basically the thing was said was, you know what, you should have just allowed, they're adults. You should have just let it play out the way it was going to play out. And
No,
and
it's not humanity. Don't we have an obligation to be honest with our friends about, or just, I don't know.
like I already knew, like you knew it was going to happen. Like you just knew it was going to happen. You knew that she was going to fall, and then because he had a bad habit. Like that's another thing too is when you have a lot of female friends and then you have
Mm-hmm.
like a male friend who tries to sleep with all of your female friends, and it's just like, and it's always messy though. It's like, it's never like, it'd be different if, that person is, hey, how you doing? How do you pronounce your last name? I'm so sorry.
Kill.
Keel.
No,
Uh-huh.
Okay, I was right.
I
Keel.
kill Bill.
Like
Yes.
Kill Bill. Like a friend of mine used to call me. He said that the center breast of the formal name of the center breast of chicken is the keel. So he would always jokingly call me Dana Center Breast. I don't know. Right? Right. I love your scarf. I was trying to figure out how to tie my head up and I wasn't doing a job work, anything. And so whatever I did do, I said, Ali, what you think? The hat or the scarf? He said, the hat. I was like, okay.
I actually bartered, and thank you. I actually bartered with my landlady. I gave her a mask, and she gave me a head wrap. And because I haven't gone to the post office to pick up the ones I just ordered, but it's
Okay.
a Grace, whatever that is, company Grace Elay.
Oh, is it on Instagram? I don't know.
I saw the ad on Facebook because she was offering. I'm assuming it's a she was offering buy one get one free.
Oh,
Yes, and I was like, now I can afford to buy these.
right. Y'all please forgive me.
It's funny that I'm talking about that right now because what's on my Facebook?
Oh,
Mm.
okay. So Shannon, are we friends on Facebook yet?
I'm pretty sure we are not.
Okay, so we should make that happen. So then you can send that to me in Messenger. Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that is Shannon, my lovely co-host. Shannon, I met her like I met the girl Janelle through my friend Lamb.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You mean everybody through Lamb.
I know, right?
And have you talked to Lamb? I was thinking about him like last week.
He's here.
Like,
he's here.
Oh, okay.
He's at your house?
Yeah, he's in front of my house right now.
Right. So he's okay.
He's
well,
in
when
front
we
of my
wrap
house.
up.
I told him 6 feet.
Got it. All right, you guys, listen. Let me just go get 5 people. Let me go get a necklace of some kind. I feel bare. I don't know what.
You're fine. I felt there too, so I had to get off the camera for 2 seconds.
All right, I'll be right back, you guys. Let me just fix a couple little things.
Take your time.
Yeah, so we're gonna ask the audience, was I an ass for that? We'll do that after our interview. So,
I wrote a man a letter
really?
and put it in the mail. Love in the time of quarantine.
Oh wow. Wow.
Is it a bear in their kitchen? Oh my gosh. Okay, if you see a teddy bear and a man, what is that movie?
Teddy bear and a man. What's up, Kedra? Ted. Oh yeah.
Ted?
Ted, yeah. Hey, that's so easy. I didn't even think about. I should have got that way. How you doing, Kedra? We gotta talk, Kedra.
So if you see some white men, a sign with a red circle with the line through it, a basketball, and a man running, what is that?
A white man. White men can jump.
Thank you.
Yeah. I should be pretty good at this.
You should be on our team.
We are really good. We gotta do like a game night or something since we're all here.
I wish we had like tablets and we need to create something like that where we have tablets and we're all in a group room and we do things like this.
Right.
Like these, and then whoever gets it first and then break out in teams. We could make a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, it'd be fun. And it'll be fun. Kedra, Maya, and I believe Michelle's in the house. Hey, Michelle. Michelle. Yeah, we're going to be starting in about 3 minutes, everybody.
Yeah, my cousin is beasting right now.
Oh, yeah? Who's your cousin?
Drea
the Slayer.
Andrea Tipler.
How is let's see. How's your sister doing?
Well, my sister's work. Well, I think she went back to work because she was not feeling well, so they told her she needed to be off for a week. You know, they wanted to make sure she didn't have a Rona. Right. And my mama had been off for a minute because she's a school bus driver, so they're off indefinitely until August.
Try clicking that link to get to the Get Vocal. The link that's pinned. No, not you. You guys are good. No,
he's talking to somebody else
on Facebook. On Facebook, okay. The people that are watching us on Facebook right now. Okay. Try clicking that link, and then if not, just come to the Get Vocal website, and we're on the first page. Dana was saying that she had that same issue. I don't know what's going on.
I was trying to see if I could do a watch party, but I don't think I can. Let's see.
So yeah, my people is good for the most part. Kinte, I can't complain. I wish I could see them apart from videos, but that's the unfortunate-ism of living so far away.
Maya. So Maya came in. Yeah, it's funny. Like some family members, I'm totally okay with not seeing, and then there's some that I really want to see. So,
like that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I probably won't do it via plane though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The first trip I'm taking is definitely gonna be in my own car by myself. Because I'm not breathing with nobody else but me and myself.
And Teddy.
I might leave Teddy.
Teddy was like, heck no.
I know.
He was I'm pulling pork, so I can't chat right now. I'm definitely watching Pulling Pork.
Oh, let me show you my mask. The first mask that somebody made for me. I haven't posted it on Facebook. Of course, I will not be wearing it out in the community because it is just so fantabulous.
I'm excited. I want to see.
Look, girl, listen. I feel like I should get it mounted on my wall.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh, wow.
That's like a Star Wars mask. Like
I'm like, I told her, I was like, this is so beautiful.
That looks like an Eyes Wide Shut mask.
I don't even want to put it on.
You wear that at the Eyes Wide Shut Corona party.
I'm gonna wear it to work, to the office on Wednesday.
All right.
Because I'll be in there with my door shut.
All right, let's get
Where
this.
do you work?
I manage a domestic abuse shelter.
Oh, got it.
All right, we're about to start right now. Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of Men and Women Talk the Mars Venus Show. I am your host, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and this is episode number 151. I am joined by my wonderful, beautiful, talented co-host, the one and only Shannon. How you doing, Shannon?
I am good. All the way from Key West, Florida. How are you?
Key West, Florida, where the ballers stay.
Stop it.
Key West, Florida. So, that's what we think of when we think of Key West. We think of
I don't know why.
opulence. We think of sunshine, boat parties. We think of older white people.
That's what I think.
We think of and that is the best place to get rid of a body is in the Keys, right? So that's where yeah, so
because that's where all of the alligators are. Yes, no.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I didn't know that Keitra is from Key West, so I know she's a baller. So hey, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having dog interference right now. Get down.
Well, he can always be a part of the show if he needs to.
No.
A conch. She's a conch. So,
a conch
or a conch. Okay.
Do not say conch. Conch. Like,
sorry, I didn't know.
I was about to ask. Like, I didn't quite understand. I didn't quite understand that term.
Hey,
I needed help.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to that. But our guest tonight she's a comedian, she's a voice actress, she's a podcaster as well. The one and only Danna Kiel.
I'm clapping for myself.
I'm clapping for you too.
Danna Kills.
Thank you, Shannon.
I like that.
Thank you, Kinte, for that introduction.
Yeah. So Danna, okay, so what we like to do when it's the first time people are on our show, we like to kind of do their origin story first. So where are you from originally?
Woo! So it's always a story. I'm one of those. Do you have that friend that is from 5 different places? Anyway, I'm that friend. So born in Huntsville, Alabama, very proud. We were there until I was 12. Huntsville is a great like incubator city in northern Alabama, not too far from the Tennessee line. It's where the Space and Rocket Center is. It's where what's called Redstone Arsenal, a lot of early space research and all the stuff, the unmanned stuff that went up. A lot of it came out of there. When we were 12, we had to make a transition. My mom unfortunately transitioned very unexpectedly, and my dad moved us to New Orleans, Louisiana. So I have 2 homes, and went to high school there. And then and I'm truly a Southern girl. People are like, I'm not necessarily a country girl because I'm from like cities, but very much Southern. Love the food. Huntsville is very different. Alabama is very different, but there's still good food. If you know anything about the South, all throughout there. But also, if you know anything about the South, then New Orleans is its own brand of the thing. Yes, it's its own brand of the thing. So went to high school there, spent a year in school there at Tulane, but eventually graduated from both of my parents' alma mater, Tuskegee. So after basically being in New Orleans, I decided to repurpose Alabama as home, went back to school and went back to Tuskegee, HBCU, and finished up there. And then took a lot of alchemist type journey to get here to LA and to get to where I am today. So always wanted to be like in arts and media, but like any kid, I was an 80s kid born we won't say what year, but I'll just say I was in high school in the 80s. We'll put it like that. So we were coming to this great technological age at that time. Like we were still like the PC wasn't in home yet. And all we had, if you know anything about anything, I don't know how old my friends are here, but if you know anything about a Commodore 64, like the keyboard that you could buy and you could attach to your TV. So we were coming through a great age in the 80s. And so it was all STEM before we had STEM. So I ended up graduating in math from Tuskegee because and to this day, I still love math, but whatever's on our heart to do and be, it's going to find its way. And so I always loved, I had like an obsession. I think I had a past life in the Harlem Renaissance. I always had an absolute obsession with Langston Hughes, Countee Cullen. My mother read poetry I have a twin sister, she read to us. So I just always, whenever we would study literature anywhere, I'd be like, well, where are the Black writers? Why do we have to always study Shakespeare? Like, why aren't we studying Countee Cullen? Why are we studying, all this kind of stuff? And even at Tuskegee, I took as many, off the beaten path classes outside of math and engineering in any type of arts class or participated. And then finally I graduated and I was like, what am I going to do now? So one of those. So worked for the university, moved to Washington, D.C. to find myself. And then there was a blizzard in 1996. And I was like, the Southern girl does not like blizzards. We're going to take it on to LA and we're going to see what we can do. And so I've been here and I have worked in the record business, worked in the music video business when there was a music video business, when there was a record business as we once knew it, that, where we sold CDs before we have this amazing like kind of roadshow that we have now. And all throughout that time, shot a couple of short films, kind of had a few things like itching on me to be in front of the camera, but just really didn't have the nerve. And this is an amazing town. Everybody's taking class and everybody's very serious. And I was just like, I haven't had class. But all I can say is all roads eventually led to UCB last year, Upright Citizens Brigade, where I started studying. All roads led to this amazing open mic studio called Dow Comedy Studio, where Bobby Oliver says we embrace the pause in our comedy, and just these amazing things are happening. I've always been kind of a blogger writer. Like Kinte mentioned, I jumped into when we had Blog Talk Radio as well, it's still here, but when it was kind of the king of the space that we're now in, which is now a different, it's a different space too. Did a radio show, but just always loved making people laugh and didn't know it. And then figured out that, that's what I've been trying to do all along. Like make people laugh, and now we're doing it on purpose, and that's kind of how we got here. And then voiceover was just, I'll share something very personal if that's okay.
Go ahead.
My mother, like I said, transitioned. I was 11 years old. I always thought she had the most amazing voice, and as I grew up, and I think as we grow a certain age, depending on what you do with your voice, I don't say you lose octaves, but you have to exercise them. But I just always thought she had this amazing kind of lilt to her voice. And I always wanted to sound like her. And so I did. I think and I think for anybody who experienced my mother enough in life, I still do. But I believe I just became like wanting to have an avenue to get her voice out into the world, and wanting to get her voice out into the world. And already, as you could tell, I love to talk. So all of it just came together. And so there was this desire for voiceover. So I just started pushing myself a couple, maybe 2.5 years ago. I tried to get some classes, LA. And here we are, blessed to, be doing auditions and, trying to make that great for it. So that's the whole origin story.
I would love to do voiceover. That's totally dope.
Well, let's talk about it offline, Shannon, because it's an open landscape. It's an open landscape.
I just want to be the person who's like the answer machine lady.
So that again?
I want to be the answer machine lady.
Girl, but people out there looking for you. They're out there looking for you. That's right. Yes.
I record people's answer machines like in real life. Like my family will be like, "Can you do my message, please?"
Oh, that's dope.
Oh,
so amen. So you right at the door. You got your foot wedged in the door right now. Then amen.
Yeah. I was scared one day when I called my aunt and I heard my own voice, and I was like, "Did you forget that you did her voice now?"
Hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about the comedy, and we'll get into the other stuff as well. It's okay. A lot of us we think we're funny, right?
Right.
We can crack grandma up. We can crack the people at our job. But then going on stage is a whole different animal. How'd you know that you were not just a funny person with grandma and and your homies and stuff, but that you had something to give audiences on stage?
That's a good question, Kinte. Very good question. So I guess let's back up. The part of the origin story, because there's too many stories within the story. So there was this great moment of poetry. So when I talk about the time in DC, what I was doing in DC was writing poetry. I got published, and we were going to, and at that time, there was this movement that was afoot. This was mid to late 90s, 95, 96. So there was Def Poetry Jam was actually, I think, had either come to TV. And so all of us, I'm about to say girl, but all of us, Kinte, Shannon, thought we were poets. And here's the thing. I'm always careful. So I'll say this. The Bible says, as we think, so are we, right? And that's true. Whatever you believe you are. Henry Ford says, if you think you're right, you're right. So I had been performing poetry throughout my time in DC. And it wasn't even that I was necessarily funny doing that, but the idea that I could sit in front of a room and say something that people would listen to, and I wasn't the president, was very cool. I had been pretty outspoken at Tuskegee, but it's different because when you're in school, those people are your friends. They're supposed to laugh or be captivated by you. But when we got to DC, and I was living there trying to figure things out, I was doing poetry. So, and then there were actually a couple of funny pieces, so I got out here and somebody took me to a comedy open mic. And I think I'm realizing now that I didn't even know that there was such a thing, like that you could go, and this was 97. So that you could go and just give it a go. I thought that comedians just went from like scratching on the ground to being Richard Pryor. Like I didn't, I didn't really kind of process that there was this process.
Right.
And so I went to open mic and I was listening and I thought, well, I got stuff, that wasn't a knock to anybody that was coming up because I was blessed, you guys. The host of the open mic at Fifth Street Dick's, which does not exist anymore, was Lonnie Love. This was 20 years ago.
Right.
So she was the host. And there was a couple other people, and I just thought, well, if they're telling jokes about not necessarily her, but some of the other folks that were coming up, I said, so this is about a thinking. So I gave it a try a couple times, and it was very much at the beginning, but people laughed. And even I'll never forget, Lonnie Love has a long, wonderful career. She'll never remember, but she was just like, I remember her introducing me one night, and she said, and she's pretty good too. She's funny. And I thought, okay.
Wow.
And then I just kind of I don't know, I thought, well, I've come to LA to be a writer. This is just something I'm trying. And fast forward, started doing Toastmasters. Anybody heard of Toastmasters?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Toastmasters, embedded in Toastmasters is public speaking and speaking competitions. And I ended up, I'll never forget this. We had a competition. So we had table topics, which I'm very good at, speaking off the cuff. But the other category was humorous. In my heart, I was very interested in competing on this humorous side, but you had to prepare the speech. It was not an open mic. So you had to lay your thoughts out. You had to lay this whole thing out. And first time competing in humorous, you go and there it's tiered. So you do the area level, what they call the area, the division, and then you go to the district. I won at the area level, brought the house down, won at the division level, brought the house down. And they were just like, okay, breathe. It looks like you're not even breathing. I couldn't believe that my thoughts on paper had translated into this thing. And then I didn't win at that final level because when you get to the final level, we're all funny. And then a couple years later, same thing, went in there. I did a very intentional piece called I'm Only Famous on Facebook. Because at the time, I was just like, I feel like I know everybody.
Right.
And then I was in the habit of seeing okay, so don't laugh at me, y'all. I felt so connected to people on Facebook that when I would see them in public, I'd be like, hey, so-and-so.
Right.
Yeah. No clue who I was. But I just thought it was very funny that in my mind, I could laugh at myself. And I think in the end, that's probably the thing that if you can genuinely laugh at yourself, outside of yourself, not just, but then it's funny. And I began to realize you're crazy. You think that these people in your heart of hearts, you honestly think that they are as into these internet connections as it appears. Like, because we at that time poking was popular, so we were poking each other on Facebook. So I thought, and I just thought that was the funniest thing. And I thought, okay. And I still, even at that time, that was 5 years ago, I still didn't have the wherewithal in my mind to say, let's go back to open mic. It really just, we all have those come to Jesus moments. And I started driving Lyft last year because of a come to Jesus moment. I found myself in a situation. So Lyft was where I had to turn. And just a series of nothing but divine appointments of talking to different writers about UCB and about scholarships and then one day, me and a girl, I don't want to say, I forgot her name. I know her name on Instagram. She hopped in the car and we were just having this fun conversation. And she literally said, "Have you thought about comedy?" And I said, "I'm thinking about it right now." And she's like, "This is where you need to go. Go this place, this place." And I mean, she wrote it all out for me, told me what studios, what class, everything. And then I said, "Okay, God, I hear it. We're back. We are." What do they say in church? That God is married to the backslider. Well, so is comedy. Comedy is married to the backslider. I am the born again comedian, and that's how we got back here.
I love it. Just as a side note, is there still poking on Facebook? Is that still a thing?
It's not the same. It's in there, but it's kind of like your pokes pile up, and then all of a sudden you get a notification. It's like you got 75 pokes, and then you open it, and like all these people have been poking you, and they poked you 5 times. So I don't know where the poke is anymore, because the platform has changed a gazillion times, and it used to be somewhere where you could see. I have no idea, but I just get these random notifications. You have 50 pokes, and I'll open it up, and it's literally like 50 or 60 pokes in there. Yeah. And I don't know.
I never got what the poke was for. Is the poke like, "Hey, how you doing?" Is the poke like some kind of cheesy way to make?
It's like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't want to be poked. Thank you.
I never got that.
I remember, you guys know who Roy L. Watkins is. I remember Roy L. Watkins was talking, and he said, "I don't want any dudes poking me."
right.
Just, no other brothers. We can whatever, but don't poke me.
It is kind of
weird. Either, especially if you got a wife at home. I'm gonna need you to keep your pokes to yourself.
So
I just figured it was a hello, but then I did understand that it could be. I guess it could kind of, Shannon, like you said, kind of be inappropriate if somebody that's ain't got no business poking you.
Sometimes I just wonder, like, why people be thinking, like, I'm like, how do you even think that's okay? Because you could easily just say hi. We just have gotten so socially in tune with each other. Poke me again and see what happens.
Yeah. For those who are listening in the chat room, put if you think getting a poke from someone who's taken is inappropriate, put a 1 in the chat room. Socially lazy. That's right. Okay. So the great thing about doing stand-up, especially when it goes well, is very intoxicating, right?
Right.
And just to get that feedback from your audience and all of that kind of stuff. I was wondering if you ever had any times that didn't go too well, where
Yeah.
So how'd you deal with that?
So thank goodness for open mics. Thank goodness for. There's the open mic that I go to, one of the main one that I go to, and I mentioned Dow Comedy Studio, big up to Bobby Oliver. She has on one night a week, it's all women. Mm-hmm. And it is the safest space on the planet. And when you're in there, if people don't laugh, like, you just don't feel any kind of way. I think it's funny you asked this, because I was also talking to another friend, Julia, who's a comedian. Like, I used to think that if people didn't laugh, it meant you were not funny. But that's not what it means. And so bombing, quote unquote, is just so very relative. All it is at the end of the day is the words you use, feedback. And sometimes, like, it's when it doesn't go well, I just say, okay, let's just go back to the drawing board on it. Like, I think, maybe maybe the difference between who I am today and who I was 20 years ago, maybe would have been concerned about a night that I go up and I don't get any laughs. Like I went to an open mic. There's a Asian woman. I can't think of her name, and I'm terrible. I hate to say Asian because that could be Japanese. Could be a lot of things, and I don't know what the sister is. I want to say Japanese. She has a spot called the Hollywood Comedy something, and it's right there on Melrose, just east of Cahuenga. It's a very small little room. And she's doing open mics, y'all. Just so you know, Shannon, when you're out here, she's doing my open mics around the clock. Like she starts at 11 in the morning.
Oh wow!
And you could pay $5 for 5 minutes, and every hour on the hour, she's got it. You can come in there and get slotted. So I went in that room, and I was late for the hour that I was supposed to be there. When I say that and it was nothing but a room. I may have been the only African American in the room, and I may have been the only woman in the room. There was a South Asian cat in there who I actually thought was very funny. He didn't laugh at nothing I had to say. And the other folks, white cats, white dudes, I'm not afraid of anybody. And then the next hour, pretty much the same thing. And in that room, like I said, in doing 2 sets, because what's crazy is nobody laughed. And then I was like, let me give you $5 more. I want to stay here for the next hour. I want to go up again. And it wasn't because I was looking for a laugh, but you are just genuinely working out the material, and we can honor that stuff just will land and it won't land. And I just didn't, most of the stuff that I was trying, like the first hour, I was trying old stuff that I knew worked already. And the one person who got a tee, because I also honor, this is what I was telling somebody, I went to an open mic that same week. I did like 4 or 5 open mics in a week, just tried to just see what I can do. I honor that there's so many people who are much younger than me, and what they think is funny is different than what I think is funny. And I find humor in all of that, but it's a culture game. And when I say culture, I don't necessarily mean color. I mean age, I mean sex, I mean gender, I mean all of it. And so some things do, like I have a whole set that I do about the rules of Postmate driving. I tell people, if you live on the 4th floor and down, come on down and get your food. Don't have me punching codes. Don't have me trying to ride an elevator up. If you are healthy, you are strong, and you are not on chemo in your unit, come on down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so jokes like that kind of work. But then, I talk about like motherhood, and I talk about, certain things I went through. I've been blessed. That stuff has landed very well, because I always wondered, are people who don't have children, don't want children, going to connect? But it just, when you get to a place, and this is no matter what age you are, that in your heart you have something honest and genuine to say, you're just not faded by people not laughing. It's feedback, and either I need to raise it up a little more. And there's some great teachers out here. I will take class with Bobby Oliver, who runs the spot. I'm sure you guys have heard of David Arnold. I hear nothing but amazing things about the way that he teaches and his style and all that kind of stuff. And then I have a PhD from the University of Google. Anything that you want to find out about how to do something, you can get it offline, and then you just go road test it yourself.
Right. Yeah, I'm doing a brain surgery on Friday from Google.
Really.
Yeah, so that's hey, what's up, Sam? In the chat room. Okay, so you're not married, right?
Nope.
So the question I have is, any guy you may be dating, should he fear that he may end up on stage as far as material?
He did. Now he hasn't heard it, but he did. I tried. Now we talk about a set that didn't do very well.
Okay.
So this particular night, that particular week, I had seen. Has anybody chat room or here seen this great series on Netflix called Explained? And so on Explained, you guys should watch it. You seen it, Shannon?
No, but several people have recommended it.
Explained is the ish, man, because they explain everything in 30 minutes, from the racial wealth gap to billionaires to the female orgasm.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that the female orgasm episode was absolutely amazing because the stats were astounding.
What episode is that? So I could just skip it.
It says it's called the female orgasm. Explained. Literally, you Google it. And so the statistics were amazing because they go through the history of orgasms, and they go through those. Anyway, so the statistic of women who had orgasms like through like regular, like, how do they say? It was like somewhere in this 80%. Like basically, if you're in a lesbian relationship, that was more like the 90s. Regular heterosexual relationship was like 80% and less. And if you're bisexual, that was a high number. I remember. So if basically male, female heterosexual relationships had the lowest percentage of orgasms for women. And so so I was on stage and I was talking about how I was in the percentage of women who had an orgasm with my guy. And but I was trying to explain that I get, like, we listen to Spotify, I think we listen to Spotify music playlist. And there are times that we can be in the heat of the moment, but like whatever the song is, I get really, like, it's hard for me. Like, so let's just say, like, I Can't Help It by Michael Jackson from the Off the Wall. Again, I'm telling my age.
One of my favorite songs.
But it is. And so
you can't come to it though.
Well, so here's the thing. It's not that whether you can or cannot come to it. It's just, I am a music lover, and people who know me intimately, they know how much I love music. I am moved to sing. So I'm there in the throes of the good stuff, trying not to do my karaoke while
but you can't help it.
I can't help it. But you know what? Thank you, Shannon, for your laugh. That didn't get much of a laugh. Like, it was, the water was tepid on that.
I sing to everything. You could be talking about a sentence and I'll make a song to it. And people are like, is that all you do all day?
Pretty much.
I had a Facebook thread once about what artists, if their music came on, it would kill the moment. And it was some very interesting responses that came up.
Wow.
But a lot
that could be a wide range. And I'll say this, Kinte, it's nothing ever per se kills the moment. I will shout my guy out. He's very good at what he does. So nothing ever kills the moment per se, but I just, like, I love music. Like, one time we weren't all the way in, and this is only for the jazz heads. You have to be a jazz head for real. So everybody knows who Miles Davis is. And if you really know Miles Davis, then you know that there was the first great quintet and the second great quintet. And so there's this song on Kind of Blue called All Blues. But the way that I don't know why. The way that the first great quintet does it is different than the second grade. So second grade is got Herbie Hancock. And they do it live from like the Fillmore East. And it's like, and I had never heard it before. And I was like dumbstruck.
It's beautiful.
In the throes of passion, but like, and I was just like, oh my God, what is that? But anyway, so I say all that to say that it didn't really kill the mood, but it was just hearing that piece of music was just very exciting for me.
It's a little more overwhelming than in the moment.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Ronald?
I think if we had been in the middle of like an orgasm, maybe not, but we were just kind of, that stuff, that foreplay is the word. I can't, all of a sudden I can't think of the word foreplay. Right. So we were kind of in the foreplay place.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad. So
does nobody even say foreplay anymore? Do people even use that word?
No. But I was going to interject when you was talking about percentages. You know how you can get to 100% every single time?
Bob.
How? By yourself?
Do it yourself.
Bob. Your homie Bob, huh?
Do it yourself. I mean, these 5 fingers work really well.
Shannon, I want to know what you think after you see it, because it's a really, and Kinte, you too. Like, maybe if y'all do a follow up or something, I want to know if y'all saw it.
Okay, I definitely want to see it.
I have to do that for an episode.
Right. That's for sure.
I am here for this conversation, especially since I'm new to the whole orgasm. Well, I'm not new anymore, but fairly new to most people.
She's new to the scene. Huh? I want to give a real quick shout out to, I see in the chat room, Lala, D, Maya, Olaf. Also on Facebook we have Ronald Smith, who just came in. Sam Teague, Stephanie is here, Ashley as well. William Lee's here. Kedra is here as well. Bobby, I think I said Bobby already. Michelle, and I know there's more people that are in, but they haven't let everybody know that they're here. Just put one in the chat room so we can make sure we give y'all a shout out.
All
right. So, okay. So now that's the thing too, right? Is the fear of, some people have that fear of making it into your set, whether it be a boyfriend or a cousin or whatever. But then you also get people who think you're talking about them, but you're really not talking about them as well. Have you ever had that happen before?
Not really. Like I have this running joke. Let me like this thing that I love to do because it just occurred to me one night, and it's a lot of fun. It's something that I pretty much do in different audiences. But like one night, I was just like, anybody got that friend who like borrows stuff and like takes forever to give it back?
Oh,
like,
yes.
oh my God, like it's not even something significant, but like they take forever. Like you be looking for your stuff and you don't want to like sweat them, but they take forever to give it back, and then they never quite give it back the same way they got it. And I'm like, does anybody have that friend? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I'm that friend. Don't owe me nothing.
My favorite is the one who borrows stuff, and then when they finally give it back to you, they give it back to you in a way like they're doing a favor to you, like yeah, it's like look what I have for you, and I'm like, that's my shit. Yeah. Yeah,
my neighbor upstairs is probably looking for her tape measure now. So it's me. It's me.
Hilarious. So you mine most of your material from your own life. Do you I guess one thing doing Lyft or Postmates or Uber, you may get you get good material, right? Because you meet all kind of different people and stuff. So
without question,
when I've done it, I've definitely had some good stuff.
Oh my God, like even Thursday, this brother, he barely got in the car because he said his hip was not acting right. Like he had a walker, his friend put the walker in. It took me forever to drive around the parking lot and find him. Then as we ride down the freeway, he wants to talk about how targeted Corona is and how ever since Trump taxed China that 12 billion, they leaders. I said, so you think they're giving out coronavirus like that? He's like, well, we tax them 12 billion and everything. I said, listen, sir, if I'm the leader of China and you tax me 12 billion and I'm giving out corona, my people not gonna get it first. Let me just say that.
Right.
We get on down the freeway. This man, bless his heart, I don't know how he did it. He barely got in the car because of that hip. The next thing I know, I turn the corner, drop him off, and within seconds, he is out of my car peeing on the ground. Right in front of he had told me to turn the corner at a liquor store instead of taking him to his actual destination. And I guess because he had to pee. But when I say to y'all, it took him a cool minute when I was loading him up to slide that little slip of the hip in. And he was 1 second he was talking to me. I said, well, is there somebody to help you with your walker? I'm gonna ask my friend. And before he could say ask my friend, I'm sorry, I'm a woman of a certain age. I've heard people pee on the ground before. He's peeing, like dropping it like a racehorse. And we are right at the mouth of the liquor store, which means that anybody coming out of the liquor store, that's what they get.
They get peed on.
So lots of that, lots of personal stuff like that. Just the fact that I had a brother, bless his heart, Oscar, 2 weeks ago, tried to get in the front seat, open the front door. And I was like, you're not going with me today? Not in the front seat, So there's just a lot of little, and big when you get in there, just because it's people. I think this is my moment right now because it's what I do. But I've been a people watcher. Like if they paid money, I would be rich. I love to just watch people all day. Just, because even with the brother Thursday night, I was telling everybody I did a little comedy moment. I was just like, first of all, whatever you going through, I can see it in your face. I watch people. So I know when you're dealing with addiction. I know when you're dealing with alcohol. I know when you're healthy. I also know that when you're carrying them black plastic bags that they only give out at the gas station, the package store, the liquor store, or the beauty supply. And if you're not wearing bundles, that means that your black bag came from the liquor store or from the gas station. That's what I know. So it's just, just minding the space of all of us. Like I said, anybody got that friend who, when you take them to the restaurant, they want to substitute everything. They want to substitute more jelly for peanut butter. They want to substitute, pumpkin seeds for sesame seeds on a sesame seed bun. And I was like, I'm that friend. Don't take me nowhere. Don't take me nowhere. And I have, whatever. So I know, Shannon. So it's just, there's just so much out there. You know what though, Kinte? I will say this. One thing that I learned at UCB is when I was in a sketch class and we had to work with topical sketches. And so while I'm not necessarily a news watcher per se, there is a lot of obvious, and we all watch The Daily Show. We've all watched comedy, comments all our lives. So they definitely all do topical. So that's been the area of growth for me to get into topical. But I've had some fun because it doesn't take a lot. Like when that whole Gayle King Snoop Dogg thing happened last month. I mean, February, I was just like, my topical piece was that it's been a rough Black History Month. Check on your Black friends. Snoop has cussed Gayle clean out, called her all kind of, and now, and I just said, listen, I don't think Harriet Tubman freed us for this. I don't think she worked as hard as she did so that this is how we were conducting ourselves. So just working with that topical space is my biggest area of growth because there's good stuff there no matter what level of news you take in.
Right. And, of course, the number 45, the president, he gives a wealth of material. I mean, he's like a comedian's dream in a way.
Yeah,
he is, but but he's not my dream for that. I have nothing. I'm sure that it will come to me, but I won't lie. I have not. That's something I don't joke about. Not because it's not funny. One, because the people who are up at the top of their game, Trevor Noah, they're doing that for us. They're doing that. To be honest, I have to admit, low key, pretty frustrated with him. I probably am holding up a little wall and wouldn't know how not to devolve into anger or frustration with him. And this, I wouldn't even say disappointment because I can't say that I had a high expectation in the first place, if that's a joke. But but you're right. He is a wealth of material.
And that's funny. You said you're holding up a wall. It's funny you said you're holding up a wall. Did the Mexican government pay for it?
There it is. They did. They paid for it.
You know what's funny is I think they're willing to put one up right now to keep us from going over there, spreading the Rona. So
right,
who's the problem?
Right. So yeah. I mean, like I said, I think there's need for all kind of comedy, right? We need good political, everyday stuff that we all can relate to. Dating, male, female, all of that stuff. It's definitely needed. And like you finding your lane, what works for you. So if you ever see a comedian, because I used to stay in comedy clubs all the time, and you can kind of tell that a comedian is probably not working in the best lane for them. And it's so cool though when you finally see them find their lane. That's amazing. So do you feel like you found your lane, or do you feel like you still have ways to go?
I certainly feel like I found a lane because a lane of just kind of, how do I say? I think, and it's so funny when you say lane, because I was like, there's so many, but I do feel like I found what works, and because I think your lane, there we go with that thing again, as we think, so are we. There are certain things that just catch me as funny. They may not, that same thing to another comedian might not have occurred to them was even a joke. Right. But for me, because I'm interfacing with it as a woman, a black woman of a certain age, all these things. And I'm not necessarily so into age, but the way that I'm going to look at, like, I have a piece that I'm very proud of that I work with a bit on sativa and indica, because I just visited my first dispensary top of the year. So I found that whole experience very funny because, like, I'm big on self-help. And now that it's legal, I'm like, I'm okay. And my thing is, for all of y'all whose friends are still giving you edibles and you don't know what's in them, don't take it. We got labels. It's legal. Right. You don't have to not know what's in it. Right. So there's a whole set of things that at my age and my level of experience that I have to say about indica and sativa. But to the person who has smoked, for a while, they probably wouldn't even, these are not the kind of jokes. These are not the things that would occur to them. But I just, but I had done my Google University research before I went to the dispensary so that I knew, what I was, because we live in just a different world now. So I think that, I grew up the nerdy kid. I grew up the kid who, was, kind of pretty considered smart or whatever. So I think that the way that I look at things and then bring it back to humor, so that we can all get on, I think that's kind of the lane for me, like this, that sort of thing. Cause I just like the world is divided in two ways, indica, sativa, I'm team indica, and also when we were in college, everybody was smoking. There weren't edibles, but I couldn't smoke. My friends was like, we not sharing with you because you don't even know what you're doing. You like wasting our good money. You wasting our weed. And it was true because I wanted to be cool. So I sat there trying to puff pass with no clue. I had not been a kid who smoked in high school. So I thought, this can't be too hard. Yeah, it is if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've never done any kind of drugs, smoked cigarettes or weed. And so this year I went to a dispensary for the CBD oil and CBD stuff. And it's so funny because being disconnected from that lifestyle, I didn't realize how deep of knowledge you got to have. So, but it's so funny though, because when you go in there in a dispensary, especially, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if it's like that in Florida, but in the dispensary, there's always people there. They're so kind and they're going to walk you through. They're so gentle too. They'll give you all the information you need and all of that kind of stuff. And it was definitely an education in there. And also as a comedian, I'm sure there's a lot of good humor that can come out of that. So like, being in there and the people that you meet and all of that.
There's one, Kinte, you sound like you may have gone to this one. It was called the Bark. I went to this one called the Bark Collective.
No.
And I'll never forget, I picked up on a Lyft ride, this guy literally, I don't know what I won't say I did anything, but he said, do you know where you could get some da-da-da at this hour? And I was like, I said, I just recently went to the Bark Collective. He said, I saw that, but that looked like the Whole Foods of dispensary. And I was like, and it's what was funny is like, and it's got a Whole Foods kind of vibe, and everybody's very sunny. Like you said, they've got these beautiful like cherry wood floors, and it's just like, and it's Shannon, you're not here, it's by the Beverly Center. So whatever. And I just talk about the difference between visiting a dispensary north of Pico as opposed to a dispensary south of Pico, because there is a distinct difference.
See, I haven't done the south of Pico, so
then yeah. So
right.
If you like, even if there's one right by me or right here in Washington, and it's a slightly different vibe when you come further south.
I need to go there for the jokes.
So that was something that I thought was very funny. And then like the girl, I'll never forget this, and it's in I have it posted on Facebook. Like I said, I'd done my research, so I was in my mind, I'm clear, and I'm still clear that I'm the indica type, and I'm saying indica on the low end, like indica CBD type, not indica high type. So I was just like, well, sativa is da-da-da. So the girl steps over and she says, well, I have multiple personality disorder, and I'm a sativa type, and maybe you're a sativa type. I paused. I said, listen, I don't have multiple personalities. I have two. I have the woman that wants to succeed and the scary bitch trying to hold her back. And we just trying to get rid of that scary girl. That's the one we're trying to get rid of. So it's just two personalities over here, not multiple. But like, this is what I'm experiencing in the dispensary. And I think that that's funny. Like, right. I think that is so funny.
Right.
And so that's so, that's what, and we take it to the stage. We take it straight to the stage. Because I think that other people are having an experience and we all want to connect. And we look for one another. And I think that's the gift of comedy. We look for one another to be our eyes and our ears into things that maybe we haven't seen before, things that we haven't experienced before. Because another woman who was doing open mic a couple months before talked about going to a dispensary. And at the time, I hadn't even thought about going. But when I went in there and they started talking to me and I had done my research, even though that woman's jokes 2 months before honestly fell kind of flat, I totally understood why she brought it to the comedy stage. I totally understood it. And so I brought it, but I bring something different to the stage than she did. So I got quite a few laughs off of it. I got a lot of love. We'll put it like that off of it.
That's what's up. Now you have a son who is just about to go to college, right?
Right. He's 17 and we're struggling with this whole situation, man, because this is, we've been college ready since kindergarten. So we've been talking class of 2020 since, K1. And now we're here. And this is, what we've arrived to.
Does he ever make it into your bits?
You know what? No, not yet. Like it's funny. I think had I started this, even if I had started this 5 years ago, he probably, or when he was much younger, because again, there was this comedian trying to come out of me and I just didn't recognize it. Because I would always kind of post some of the escapades on Facebook. Just look, and it was again small child humor. I'll never forget holding him, and we came outside, and I didn't have an umbrella, and it was raining, and my baby said he was half sleeping. He said, "Why is God spitting on me?" And so things like that I don't know how well they would play on a larger stage. And now he's older, so the potency is not the same. I'll never forget we were going through a season of having a lot of car trouble, trying to get out of here, go to work every day. And one morning he said to me, "Well, what kind of car does God drive?" And I was like, so he hasn't yet. He made it into, I did a when I was doing another Toastmasters competition, they talked about, I don't even remember what they call table topics, where they ask you a random question. It was parenting, I think, is full of material. You just have to figure out what you want to say, because it's and all the comedians from Bill Cosby, sorry to say his name if it offends anybody, but I still think that he had these brilliant moments despite where he is today. So many comedians have done great things on the side of parenting, but I think the biggest lesson I always have in parenting is whatever I'm trying to teach, I have to be. And so I can be after him about these dishes, but if I'm not dealing with the dishes quite right, then he's not going, he's going to follow whatever's happening. And I just always think that that's something I want to talk about, that space a little bit more, that any of our children are doing as well as we're doing. Whatever you modeling, whatever you see wrong, then you have to look in the mirror before you start, grabbing a belt. You need to take a look in the mirror and see how well you're doing with that same thing. And if you can be honest with yourself, you will know exactly why they're doing how they're doing. But he hasn't yet. We'll figure it out.
I want to give a shout out to Patricia A. Murray and Gary, who just came in as well. Okay, so now you're doing an open mic tonight. How's that work? Like doing stand up to no audience? Like how's that going to work?
It's a brilliant question. Here's what's funny is it works. Like I don't love those two words. It just does, because the open mic, especially for the one that I'm at tonight, it's that women's mic. It's more of a study space. Now, all the laughs are there. If we and on the Zoom space, we can hear each other, so we're laughing. So okay. It's not, the audience isn't, because we're not in the studio, admittedly. Then where you have performers and you have audience members, you're certainly getting more laughs in that space. But in that Zoom space, you're getting some laughs. Now, this is what I will say to your point, because I do know what you're getting at. So not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, so I guess almost 2 weeks ago, my neighbor had something, and she let me come on and do open mic. So from Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. So now it's like you said, like I'm not flanked in a Zoom room by other folks. It's just me and my phone, and we right here with it. And all of course I had material that I knew worked. So and I knew that it was broadcasting out. Of course, that's one thing you don't do. You don't try new material with a new audience. Right. At least I don't. And and I knew what worked. And people are loving and generous for this space that we're in. So I saw them hitting the laughs, the emoji laugh. So you could see that people were laughing. You couldn't hear it. But that goes back to, and I apologize for pointing, it goes back to the question you asked earlier about bombing, about material. You have to trust that you have something to say, and you have to trust that you're connecting, and you have to just trust the material. And you can do that whether you hear an audience or not. If you know in your core that you are connecting with people, nothing can block that. Nothing, you don't need to hear the laughter to know. You can feel it.
Yes. Oh, and what's up to Crystal Johnson in the chat room? And Gary Rahman says, Dana, my Tuskegee sister.
The classmate, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Brother Gary, I know. Yep.
Yeah, I've interviewed him before and helped him out with some podcast stuff too. Great brother.
He's writing books. He's got great stuff out there in the world.
Great dude. We got to get him back on. It's been a minute since he's been on. He's a really good brother to talk to. And in Tuskegee, I've actually been to Tuskegee before, so many moons ago. So, big shout out to those folks. Okay, so how many minutes do you have as far as material? Like, do you have an hour or 30 minutes?
I've not built up to an hour. Let me see. So on the open mics, we have to do a type 5. Sometimes we get 6 according to the numbers. This is what's funny. Funny you should ask. So when my neighbor who was hosting this thing 2 weeks ago said, okay, I said, well, how long do I have? And she said, 15 minutes. Ooh, I got nervous because I was like, I certainly have 3 or 4 different sets of 3 or 4 different 5-minute sets. So obviously we can all do the math. Sewn together, the 15, 20 minutes is there. But when I tell you, I looked up and I had been talking for almost 30 minutes and I didn't know that I had been talking that long, like, because I got a chance to expand. Like there's jokes that I tell and when you're working with that type 5, you literally, and it's the same with the Toastmasters certainly taught me this. Everything is timed in Toastmasters. And if you're competing in Toastmasters, there's penalty, like you can lose, you can be disqualified. So I certainly learned to respect time. But I went for 30 minutes and then I was attempting the story, and actually it was a little bit of a workshop just now with you guys when I was talking about the guy peeing on the ground. I told that story yesterday and it took me like 25 minutes to tell it. I was like, girl, you got to get that together, because that is not like, it's not a 25-minute story. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is a good story, but it's not a 25-minute story. So you got to figure out what that was about. I mean, it was just me trying to get it out. And when I go tonight, I'm going to try to work with it in the 5 and see what I can do to figure out where what is the core in at UCB where I study, they, everything has game. Like, what is the core beat? Not really the game, but what's the core beat here? And then how do we keep it in this 5-minute space? So I haven't done an hour yet. I don't think that an hour will be hard to get to, just because when you're telling doing a 5-minute set, you're having to shave a lot. And if you can expand some of that, and when I say expand it, still have potent beats, not expand it to fluff it, but still just bring out the potent beats. I could probably get to an hour, but I would definitely take a lot of time to make sure it's prepared, because you don't want to. If you guys have ever heard of Ali Sadiq, has anybody ever heard of Ali?
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah,
he is. I feel like
Mexicans got boots.
Yes, Mexican got boots, and Mitchell, and just everything. But Mexican got boots is good stuff.
Hilarious.
And so, sidebar, you got me thinking of 2 things. So Mexican got boots is an amazing piece because he has, he entered the game like almost 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And at the time that he began to do, Apple Music and all these things came along. So he's been able to put together albums and get comedy albums out there. So he has an album that he put out in 2013, and the Mexican Got Boots story is on there. But you're hearing it in its nascent stage. Like the Mexican, it's still the same prison riot story. But what it elevated to on Comedy Central's This Is Not Happening is, it's the same core story, but he's refined it. He's got the beats together, the whole 9. So I just say all that to say that he is someone that I watch a lot in these modern times, because he caught my ear by accident. But when I listened, I was like, I never heard of him until 2 years ago. And when I listened, I thought, okay, so we must be in the same generation, because the stuff that he's talking about, like, if you really listen to him, he's kind of got this deep level, and not just the I was in prison part of things, just the nature of what he's talking about. And so I think it's just the same. It's just this idea that you have a lot of stories to tell. How do you refine them? How do you expand them? And then making sure when you're dealing with trying to get an hour, making sure that it's prepared, and tight and all that kind of stuff. And you, because I would have never, hearing him do Mexican Got Boots last year or whenever I first heard it, late 18, I would have never known that bit was like 7 years old, like 5 years old.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was just new for that show. I didn't know that was something that he had been doing for a minute. So
he has, if you are on Apple Music, like all 6 of his comedy albums are there, and he has one called Freedom of Speech from 2013, 11 or 13. If I have it right, that's where that is, and you can hear it for the first time.
If you
can hear it.
And if you guys, his name's Ali Sadiq, and he was on this show called
Bring the Funny.
No. I mean, with that asshole that was hosting it at that time.
Oh, right. This Is Not Happening.
This is not happening. Right. I won't even say his name. That guy, that guy.
Right.
But yeah, it's very funny. Just look it up. Mexican Got Boots. It got on boots. It's a great bit. Okay, so we have about 7 more minutes with you. what can we expect from you? Because I know you're getting in the podcasting realm. You're getting back into it. I'm sorry.
Right.
And
Thank you
you're
for
also
that.
and you're also doing voice work. And are you still doing film work as well?
Not as much film work. Funny you should ask. So Gary is on. We have a schoolmate. His name was Terrence Barker. We call him T Bart. Like, one of the things I'll say about my journey and my time in LA is it's been, and I've not read The Alchemist. Part of me never, I don't know, it's 6:54, so let me pay attention to the time. I never read The Alchemist because I felt like I get so tired of people saying that, you know, everything you went through was necessary, and no matter how long it takes you to get where you going, like, you got to go. And that feel some kind of way when you just feel like, you know, am I young enough? Am I this enough? Well, I want to be more than, I don't want to be novelty. I want to be potent in the space. I want to be taken seriously. So that said, what's interesting is comedy feels the most right of everything that I've done. I've been blessed to be good at or be in a space to propel and elevate and get better at things. But comedy and to that extent, even the voiceover work, because I just love talking, as y'all can tell. So please know that there is more comedy on the way. But I want to do films and TV and movie, but I'm way more interested in that. And this is actually probably kind of new for me to say. I'm interested in that work from this perspective, from that of being a comedian, from that of being a comedic actress. Like, I grew up loving Lucille Ball. I don't know that I'm that broad, right? I don't know if I'm that physical, but she's a hero. My favorite of all was probably Carol Burnett. I'm sorry, she's not. She's still with us. So Carol Burnett, Mary Tyler Moore, Rhoda, Alice. Like, I loved those sitcoms. I loved those women. I loved their work. Obviously, we know that people were writing those shows, but their words could not have come to life better through those voices, you know what I'm saying, without those women and their work. So that's the avenue. Like, I'm still like a gut busting, like, I loved Soap, but I loved Benson more just because he was a man of color. Soap was very funny, but it just had a lot of moving parts because it was obviously parodying soap operas, so I didn't whatever. But I still love and want to go further as a comedian. Stand up. Sorry about that, you guys. Doing stand up, but I would love to be, you know, this may sound ambitious, but I'll say I would love to be like Issa Rae's older sister, like this, or something. Like, I would love to be able to do something, maybe even the straight-laced nerdy older sister or something where she's the younger, she's the baby and she was the favorite, whatever it is. But I would love to do something in that space. I love the sketch comedy world. I'm looking, I love Astronomy Club. Like, I love Robin Thede show. I don't know if I'm brave enough yet to just straight do sketch. Sketch is no joke. Like, you have to. I'm in some sketch writing classes, so I love the idea of creating and developing that. But you definitely, I want to be what a Mary Tyler Moore was, or I want to be what a Alice was. Kiss my grits. That wasn't even Alice. That was the other woman. That was the blonde in there that was with her with the Southern accent.
Right.
So
Flo.
prayerfully more of that.
Yeah, Flo.
Right. So I just want to be, from our lips and vibes to God's. I want to be potent in the space. I want to be funny in the space, and I want to be way more than novelty in the space.
Impotent. Yes. No, that's great. Wow. I'm a big fan of you and your work, and I'm looking forward to especially once we get out of quarantine, what's going to be happening. Last year I put on with my friend Leah Brown a comedy event at the crib, and I'm looking to do that more. So hopefully we can work together. And
I trust it. May 16th. It will probably be on Zoom, but it's going to be open to the public May 16th. I'll send it out. I am booked at Dow for one of their monthly shows.
Nice.
And I know that they're talking. They've sent us a thing the other day saying, would you guys be willing to do this on Zoom? Because I was booked like a month or two ago. So I do know my first book show may be in the Zoom space, but it's coming. It's coming.
And maybe after all of this, you can hit the road.
I would love it.
Look, we're gonna want to hit the road so we can just get out of our homes, you know.
Right?
So it might be fun just to go and see things other than my driveway and my bedroom and my living room and the blender and the ice maker and the
Tell it.
Where we could switch, you could have my job, and then you could see more than that every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I go to the grocery store. I go to Lowe's. That's always fun. That's like a treat when you get to go to Lowe's and you get to go to the garden section. That's like a big treat right now. So,
amen.
But okay. So how can we get you in social media and all this?
So I am Danna Kiel here on Facebook. I am Danna Kiel on Instagram, which is the most. I guess I'm trying to. Is there anything else? I'm Danna Kiel on LinkedIn, but I don't think anybody's going over there for comedy. But for all the funny, Facebook and Instagram are it. And if you just know my name, it's just like that, Danna Kiel. And on Instagram, it's lowercase like that, DANNA, 2 N's, y'all. I before E, except after C. So Danna Kiel.
Danna Kiel.
And, mm-hmm.
All right. And Shannon, how can we get you in social media and all that stuff?
Same old. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Shannon Ford like the president, _ Jefferson like the president.
Now,
nice.
Before I say mine, just to let people know, we will do an after show both on Facebook. We're going to let the thing go on Facebook and in here as well. So you can get me at Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson on Instagram. And of course, you can get us at indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. Tomorrow night here on Get Vocal, I will have both Logan and Angela from Fairly Random Psychic Show. And we're going to do a What's Good with Kinte show of that. So they're really great. They're two psychics, and we're going to talk some psychic stuff. So that should be pretty cool. All right. With that said, you guys have a great rest of your week. God bless you, and peace.
Peace. Love you guys. Thank you. Woo. Do I just hold a smile until it goes away? What do I do? Or do I kick myself out? How does this work?
Yeah, you're good. Thank you. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, you're good. Thank you so much, Dana. We'll talk. All right. Good luck tonight.
We appreciate you, Dana. I sent you a friend request on Facebook.
Okay, I got you. I'm scared to start doing something else. I'm waiting for it to go off.
It's bit.
I got it. All right. Oh man. All right. So we're still here. If you want to join us here and Get Vocal, we are here and Get Vocal, and we're also live on Facebook too. I just left the StreamYard going. So man, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought, you know what, it'd be good to have, something funny, something different, because I was gonna do like this whole thing. I had some stuff I wanted to talk about with relationship stuff, and then I said, when I saw that she was available, I said, let's make it happen, because she was supposed to be on a No Corona show, but it didn't work out. So she was having technical issues, but we got it straightened out earlier today. So that's what's up there. So if you want to join us, the post is pinned on Facebook chat if you want to join us in the Get Vocal, or you can stay in Facebook. It's all good. I see Angela here as well. What's up, Angela? And anybody wants to hop in, please feel free to do so. So, man, I have so much that I want to talk about with our audience here.
What you want to talk about? Let's talk about quarantine days.
Yeah, well, okay. So if you can hear us and see us very well, put 1 in the chat, please. If you can't, press 2. And I'll start. Put 1 in the chat if you hear us and see us very well. So okay, we got Captain Olaf says 2, 3, hilarious 4. Anybody else? Put it in the chat, because we only have Olaf as well as Patricia saying that they can hear us. Steven, put 1 in the chat if you can hear us and see us very well. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, all right. Okay, so I have a question for you. For the audience. If you have a friend who's a great friend, right? he or she is a great friend. I'm talking about the same sex as you friend. They're a good friend, but let's say you wouldn't want him dating your sister or her dating your brother, because when it comes to that thing, they're pretty scandalous. Like, do you guys know what the kind of person I'm talking about? Put one in the chat if you
like
know
the
what I'm
one
talking
that
about.
told you they like me but got a living girlfriend.
I was getting there. I was
Oh,
getting
my
there.
bad.
I was getting there. All right. So I know a dude. I know a guy who always wants Shannon's number. Right? He always wants Shannon's number. And I refuse to do that or even tell her about it. The only reason there's a reason why I'm telling her about it. Because this guy has a live-in girlfriend. So he basically would, I'm blowing his spot up, but it's okay. It's all good. So basically I guess he would want Shannon as what would that be? I guess she would be like number 2 on the depth chart.
I would whoop his. Let me mind my own business. You continue.
He's trying to cast her as a side piece, right? Side chick.
Do I look like somebody's side
piece? I refuse, right? This has been going on for a while because he just thinks she's so beautiful and he thinks that he can say some things to her that would get her ear, right? So I never told her because I felt like it was a moot point, right? So I was talking to a female friend of mine the other day, and she said that I was wrong for that. She said that Shannon is an adult, that and he's an adult, that I should bring it to her, and I should just keep myself out of it, give her the number, and let her just find out whatever.
Okay, so whoever homegirl is, tell her Shannon said she don't know me. Look, be on the show like Catch Me Outside. How about that?
So was I breaking the man code? Was I breaking the man code? Should I have just not even said nothing and just hooked them up?
What?
Was I breaking, fellas? Was I wrong? Was I wrong for that? Because some dudes would say I should just let him. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. No, I didn't. I did the noble thing. Oh, okay.
That's not okay.
No, see, I didn't even think it was even worth mentioning it, but apparently I was told that I was wrong for that. That I was, who knows that, So you right to protect you protected Shannon. When you care about people, you don't want them hurt.
But it's not even about that. Like, why would she suggest that you tell me about some dude that got a chick already at home? So first off, he's garbage, and I'm supposed to take out the trash.
Well, she was saying, what she was saying was, I was keeping adults from doing whatever adults wanted to do. That I was wrong. That I should just, I shouldn't have inserted myself. I should have just.
You need to reevaluate your friend circle, because this person is not my friend, correct?
No, you don't know this person.
Exactly.
Because
see, what I know is that friends in my circle don't say dumb stuff like
that. Yeah. Well,
I said what I said.
You were looking out for a friend. Okay, right. That's dumb. I thought that's what I thought, but I wanted to say it. I said, you know what? I'm going to say it because this Negro has been, every chance he.
Like, where would I even be interested in?
Well, I think he wanted, what he really wanted was me to just make it happen and then not, say anything. And, I doubt he was going to tell you about her.
It don't even matter. I'm not talking to anybody in your circle. See? How about that? Like, if I know nothing, I know that's a no. An N to the O.
Oh, let's see. That's cool. You talk. She's like, Olaf said, you talk to me.
Oh, don't count.
Oh, he don't count. What's up, Luke? I don't know. So, all right, is it on us as friends of somebody to insert your morality, I guess, to the situation, or should I just, should you just be like, hey, they grown, they can do whatever they want?
Can't say if I was introducing you to a girl and I knew she had a man and a side piece, and I'm like, oh, she's good for you. How would you feel about our friendship? How would you feel about me being your friend in that moment?
Wait, who is she? No, just playing. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, that would be. I think that's wrong. Me personally, I feel like that's wrong. But
Listen,
I
y'all
was
have to look around my room for the closest weapon. Let somebody come to me with that foolishness. Tell your friend she live in LA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't ever introduce me to her when I come visit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she was saying don't tell her about.
I don't care what she was saying. Whatever if she conveyed it to you the way you just conveyed it to us.
She was saying what she was saying was don't make the decision for her. Let her make her own decision.
I mean, make the decision for me. You not saving me from somebody I'm in love with.
Right. That's what I feel like.
You blocking me from somebody who already got somebody and probably got 6 more stashed in Shopko or Kmart somewhere. What I want with him?
Her standards. I mean, I got raked through the coals.
Our women don't get along. It's for stuff like that. They're like, what? Who are you right now?
I don't know. Well, I'm glad though. I'm glad. So I'm gonna show him this footage, so he can that little fantasy.
Time I say he gonna kick all them rocks.
Not the worst marriage. Okay, not that worst marriage. You are not letting him attempt to end his life.
Like, not only that, you give somebody their number, you don't know what type of chick he dealing with. So say we do go have coffee, we go break bread just because we want to get to know each other better, not under the pretense of we gonna have sex tonight, and she crazy. Right. So now you got me killed because she didn't saw him with 10,000 other women, and I'm the last one. So I'm the straw that broke the camel back. So I gotta be the casualty in their craziness. Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, so what? Let's ask this question then. What if your friend is willing to be another one of your friend's side pieces?
Not this friend.
Not you, of course. I'm talking about somebody else. What if they're like, hey, that's a good deal for me? Because a lot of people are cool with that. They're like, some people prefer to be side piece.
Put a 1 in the chat room if you are willing to be in 2020, in the year of COVID-19. Put a 1 in the chat room if you're willing to be somebody's side piece, or not even just a side piece, the side piece. Like, he done got 2 sides already, and you the third. So he paid an extra $1.25 for you.
Says you look all kinds of radiant. See, that's why you want that number.
Thanks, Ryan. But Ryan got a girlfriend too. I need y'all to cut it out.
I mean,
that was
like medicine. I said. I mean, some people, they are okay with that. They're okay. She said, "Hell no."
It's like, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't want to share. I'm not sharing my man. I'm not sharing my underwear. I'm not sharing my lip gloss. No, thank you.
In that order?
In no particular order, but those I'm just not willing to share. I will pass my plate over to you and share off my plate. Mm-hmm. But my man, his manly parts and all that comes with him, I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Oh, she says, how can she get into the chat room?
I ain't gonna be able to do it. Which is probably why I'm single. Because it's just some things I just ain't gonna do.
I mean, we can't act like being a side piece ain't a real thing though. Like, there's people that sign up for that.
We're not saying that it isn't a real thing, but there are levels to people's standards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you know people in your circle, which is why I specified that this person and I were not real friends,
Mm-hmm.
the person you talked to that gave that advice, because if she knew me and my standards, she would know that what you did was the right thing.
Right. Her thing was I was making a Dana, just swipe, what is it, left when you're on your computer to see the chat room?
Dating app?
No, I mean to see the chat room, I think you have to swipe left.
Yes.
Yeah. Her thing was I was being an asshole because Shannon can decide if that's what she wants or not. That I was taking away, like it wasn't my place to do that. That's what she was trying to say, was that I was being out of order, that you grown. If you had chose, if that's what you decided to do, not saying that's what you should have done, that I should have butted out, that I was butting in when I shouldn't have been butting in.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you technically didn't butt in because I knew nothing about it until you just brought it up. My answer is still the same.
I'm glad.
Been a little more spicier at that point. Probably had, a point of destination in front of the word no, but it still all would have boiled down to no. So yeah, let me tap on my mic, give my public service announcement to your friend. Excuse me, sir, with the girlfriend at home. The answer is no. Before you try to get someone's number, make sure you have ended the first relationship that you're in so that you can even begin something with someone else. And by someone else, I mean someone else who is not me. Okay? Have a great day. God bless you. Play that.
I will. I'm going to play that. I'm going to definitely play that. I will definitely play that. So, I don't know. See, this actually just proves that I was right. So, and I always love it when I'm proven right.
Don't most people?
I do, yeah. Olaf is trying to come in, but there's something going on. Like, yeah, that's weird.
I'm surprised my camera and computer actually held out because I am not at a full charge.
Yeah, it's okay to trade up, though, right?
It is okay to trade up, Luke, but under the pretense of you not being completely honest. Because for me, honesty is everything. If you don't tell me that you're in a relationship and a live-in relationship at that with somebody you've been intimate with, you don't give me room to make decisions based on what I know. Right. So that the whole deception by omission is still a lie. And if you tell me any different, then you need to work on your thinking errors. Shout out to Juvenile.
Okay, let me ask this question. How would you feel if you met a guy, he met you, and he just thought you was all that in a bag of chips, and then he went home and broke up with his girlfriend? Then,
well, if this ain't Uncle Ray's hot chips, then he don't even qualify. No.
So he left his girlfriend because just for the opportunity to date you.
I don't like that. I don't know why. Because the same way you get them is the same way you lose them, in essence, to me. I mean, so I'm coming off the curtails. He was in a relationship when he met me, but he's going to lose somebody based on the fact that he thought I was a bag of chips. But I mean, most bags of chips most of the volume weight is air.
Now, Ryan is saying, don't leave the girlfriends. Keep them until things get serious. So...
done with all y'all.
So wait, that's what Steven is saying is, so maybe what he was trying to do was he was trying to decide should he leave that live-in girlfriend.
I need a snack. Y'all about to make me
I never thought about it like that. Maybe I messed
you
him
have
up.
To keep them. You know why? Because it removes, when you leave, it removes I don't know, the importance and the vibe, the confidence. Because if you go leave, like, that's what dating is for. Dating, you can have the people that you're dating, right? But when it gets serious, then you decide, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Because there's just this, men are not really good when we're just going after just one woman. We look like it just removes value. I don't know how to explain it.
You know
But
what?
can I say, by the way, I came in earlier. Shannon, you're looking fabulous. The color pairing and the head wrap.
Thank you.
Channeling our ancestors at the same time. And it just brings out your glowing, smooth skin. I just wanted to. You look radiant today.
Very homewreckerish.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Because
Olaf, you are right. He would probably do the same thing to me. After he done left old girl for me, he gonna find somebody else doper than me and leave me. I don't have time for that. Y'all, this is why Shannon is single in 2020.
All right, women in the chat room, is it okay to trade up? Like, you dating somebody and then you meet somebody else and then
that is,
I guess the real question is why are you settling?
No, I mean somebody's great, and I'm just saying, not me.
That's the real question, because at the end of the day, you knew from jump that person wasn't going to be the longevity that you were settling for them to have someone. Been there, done that. Want to have 4, bought a T-shirt.
Agreed.
Stamp on my arm, and at the end of the day, you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm just comfortable with this person, and we just vibe well." But he got X, Y, and Z wrong, and so when X, Y, and Z show up. And you're like, oh, now I'm going to upgrade because it's really what I wanted. Well, why was you with that warm body? Get an electric. Don't I say this all the time? Kinte, I said it all the time last year. Get your heating blanket if you need a warm body. I mean, get you a full body pillow, put it under your heating blanket, wrap it up, and lay up next to it. Because selling for a warm body who you going to pass up anyway for the upgrade is a waste of people's time.
Okay, let me play. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'm playing the devil's advocate. I'm not saying I agree with this, but we're playing the devil's advocate. Okay, you're with girl X or guy X. Same thing for a woman, and you think everything is great, but then you meet a Ryan or you meet a Shannon, and then you realize, man, this is really what I was waiting for. What do you do though? Like, I mean, that happens, right?
You don't do anything. You don't drop nothing. The thing is, confidence comes from when you have it. When you don't have nobody, the confidence is gone. Like when you're like, I think there's a difference. There's dating and seeing multiple partners, and then there's the guy that's with the girl that he didn't like because maybe she don't wash like up all the time, and then he's like, I'm just waiting, I'm waiting, and then what happens is that then he sees someone like Shannon, and then he can't contain himself. He's like, oh, baby, you're so beautiful. You're so gorgeous. You're like my whole life. And like, women don't like that. They want a guy.
Song. I thought when you said, oh, baby, I thought you thought the bust down song.
Yeah.
You might be underestimating yourself, Shannon. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe,
See, and that has nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, I'm eating a graham cracker, but I believe in decency and order. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a play it by the book. I like spontaneous. I like, blow my mind, excite my senses, turn me on, stimulate me mentally, all that great stuff. That's beautiful. But you're not about to come to me on the cusp of already being in a relationship trying to end it just because you think I'm better. The grass is always greener, not on the other side, but where you water it. So.
Okay, just as a side note, you know what they say about people who eat graham crackers?
What?
Only old people, young people, and crazy people eat graham crackers.
Hey, what did I tell you?
Hey, I eat graham crackers too. So
reach over. First of all, you know me, I'm snack galore right now.
Look, I eat graham crackers too, so I guess I'm crazy.
My truffle popcorn is what I really wanted. I can see it in my eyesight. But I would have to reach over, which means I would see my bottom half, and I just ain't gonna do that. So graham crackers are the closest, so graham crackers are what I got picked up.
Okay, so what if you were happy in your relationship and you're no longer happy, right? Okay. But then it coincides with you meeting a Ryan or a Shannon or whoever. What do you do?
What do you mean?
Break up with the person. Get out of the relationship.
Okay. So
nothing.
are you offended if he? Are you? I mean, is that unsettling to you if a guy broke up with him to try to pursue a relationship with you?
Be by yourself. I mean, I'm not so pressed that I need to be with somebody for the sake of just being with them. So, but when I'm all in, usually.
Mm. Have you ever, Ryan, dated someone and then you met someone in their circle and then you like someone in their circle more?
Mm-hmm.
That's a mess.
Well, especially like my ex had a lot of pretty girlfriends, so I was just stimulated. I was just like, anytime he came in and I just seen all the pretty women around, I just was stimulated. And I wrote a song. It's called "Take Your Clothes Off," and and I got in trouble. She came home and then I'm like, "Ooh, I love you." So whatever the song. Anyway, and so she's like, "Is that about my friends?" I'm like, "No, baby," because I said I put weave in the song, so it would be about her because all her girlfriends don't got weaves. So I said, I put weave just to make it like it was about her, but really
it was about
her
girl.
friends.
You want to hear something crazy? I dated this girl, and her roommate was like her best friend, and she was like this real. He's a pervert. Her best friend, who's her roommate, was like a stripper, right? So when I would go over to their apartment to see her, her best friend just didn't like to wear clothes, so she would walk around the apartment naked all the time. And the girl I was dating, she hated that. She'd be like, "Put on some clothes, ho." She would always throw stuff at her and stuff. And I mean, I didn't have a problem with her walking around the house naked, but
yeah, I think the other girl has too much power. That's why it's like I learned my lesson. I think I was 18 or whatever. I was on a train with a girl named Kendra that she was fine, and she was best friends with my girlfriend. We just left my girlfriend's house and we were on the train, and then I was kind of spitting game to her and stuff like that. And then she went and go and tell my girlfriend. So I kind of learned from that experience that, like, the girlfriends will bait you and they'll flirt with you, but they're a trap. They'll get you caught. That's why it's better not to be in a relationship, because then you can kind of maneuver. But when you're in a relationship with somebody and you see their girlfriend, yeah, they look hot, but stay away. You don't want peas and carrots touching.
You know what?
And that's the trap, Ryan. Take off that P and add a SH. They're trash. Because anybody who is trying to bait you, knowing you with a girl, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also the whole, if you, like, let's say you meet a girl at the same time as you met her friend, but you tried the friend first and maybe she's in a relationship or not interested or something, and then you try to pivot to the friend. Now she's mad because you went to the friend first. That's also an issue. That could be an issue as well.
Yeah, it's an issue, but that happens quite often, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, because especially when you're around friends and your mutual friends, I think more people that are around each other, they kind of date each other and whatnot. I personally, based on my personality, I can't have that happen. Like, I think that, like, once I'm done with a group, I gotta go find a new group. I don't like
group.
Yeah,
because I don't want people telling all my business.
Or they do this, or they'll tell you everything about your ex that you didn't ask about. They'll be like, "Oh, Carol, she's with somebody else at the such." And you're like, "I didn't ask you that." Like, I really don't care, but they still constantly want to tell you about what your ex is doing. It's ridiculous. No, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, maybe I'm more intelligent, and that's probably the reason why I don't date as much, because I'm just cautious. I just don't want, like, nothing, like, not that I have anything to hide. It's just that I'm just more like, I don't want everyone to know who I'm dating, and I don't want to know that you've dated half of my friends.
Yeah.
Because it just feels awkward. But there are guys that are not that smart that get laid all the time and that F each other's friends, and they make it through life. They're okay, and they like the drama that comes along with all of the canoodling, I'm just not that kind of guy. Kind of guy to want to invest in that. I just feel it's dangerous. It's just I don't want to be passed around friend to friend, and then you know what I mean. And it's awkward.
Yeah, some guys will pass. They'll be like, I'm not dating Carol anymore. You have at it, homie. You know, like
their risk factor.
When do we become gifts that y'all could just pass around?
Man, it goes down.
It's vice versa, no?
Hey,
Women-
Anthony, my friends, we don't share dudes.
Yeah, but you are a special kind of woman. You're not the average woman. I've heard some scandalous nonsense in the past of women going after each other's men and all this other stuff. Like some women don't have standards.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in a small town or that, sometimes that just is going to happen, right? You're going to date people who
You better date outside the next town. You better go to the next county.
Yeah.
if you live in Butthole, Arkansas, or
Butthole.
yeah,
If your friends are there, you don't need to be dating nobody. No way.
If you look, there's a lot of people in little Alabama places. No disrespect, Dana.
I mean, you can live right down the street from the Chattahoochee River. It don't matter.
The Chattahoochee
I mean, you can date somebody in the county because we not dating the same dudes.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying in small towns it goes down.
I live in a small town, Kinte.
Well, I mean Key West though.
6 mile radius island.
Okay.
And none of the people.
I'm talking about like a Mayberry type town. Like, where I live, I don't date any of the women here, mostly because all of them know my brother or know me through my brother. Yeah, or sometimes you'll have that brother who's made it through the town. So you got to go to 3 towns over. What's up, Andre?
Yeah,
Andre's in the house.
I got
and
holes
Anthony.
in different.
Why Andre's profile picture? He looks like an R&B singer, don't he?
Things always look like that in that picture.
Yeah, it just hit me that he I walked into a Ludacris song, hilarious. Key West is a small Mayberry, everyone knows your family place. Yeah, okay. A lot of those places, like in Alabama, Mississippi, those places, a lot of times they date cousins and all of that kind of stuff, and so I don't know. Some places they date family, they date like cousins and shit. Yeah,
We don't do that either.
yeah. To me, that's gross, but not everybody.
But I ain't gonna be that.
I mean, some people, they say if you're twice removed, it's all good. Right. Dr. Amira, how you doing, Amira? Where I'm from in California, it's a small town. I never dated anyone my friends dates. Lompoc, right? She's from Lompoc. So
I ain't gonna be able to do that.
Greetings. I don't know. All right. Press 1 in the chat room if you ever knowingly dated someone one of your homies dated, or press 2 if you have never done that, as far as you know. I don't do that either, so I don't date friends.
Look, I'm like, nope.
No.
But me and my friends, we don't like the same type of guy.
Really? So what, they like thugs or whatever?
Like a few of them, like light breaks. That's what I call them.
No.
And I'm just like, no, thank you. Everybody has their type, and we just don't have the same types, even though we're similar in friendship.
And when I did mostly males, and they didn't like the men, right?
It was different bad. Those that don't like men.
Oh yeah, straight guys. Yeah. Was a lot of women have a lot of straight women like to have homosexual male friends. I never got what that's all about.
I mean, to each his own. To have whatever friends make you happy. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it.
No. Yeah, you're talking about heterosexual, Amira, but I'm talking about women who purposely they keep a lot of gay male friends. And they
Oh
said,
yeah, we call you Dr. Amir.
yeah, I mean, they have a term for it. I won't say it because I'll get flagged for it. But but I don't know what that's about. Yeah, like I dated a girl many years ago, and her she had one of her best friends. It was his birthday party, and it was at a gay club, and she wanted me to take her to this birthday party at the gay club, and I said absolutely not. I wasn't gonna go there. And she was like, "Well, you be with me. I mean, what's the big deal?" And I said, "I just didn't want to be in that vibe. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't the kind of vibe that I wanted to be around. So
Yeah.
But another reason why I don't date anyone from here is because I don't find anyone here my type. I'm way too intellectual for the women here, and most of the women here aren't interested in comic books and sci-fi related stuff. It seems like though that those women are in spades. Like you can find these nerdy chicks everywhere. Like these.
Yeah, but do they want a nerdy guy?
That's true. That's true. A lot of nerdy women don't like nerdy guys. They want the same guys that the Shannon types like, the thugs, who with the machetes.
It's a bad misconception.
I like sci-fi and comic books, but I'm married. I know, right? Ain't they all married? The ones that, it's hilarious. Yeah. So I don't know. Did you ever have your thug phase?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
You've asked this question before. No, I'm not interested in thugs.
No, I mean not now. I'm talking about like back in the day when you were young. Really?
Mm-mm.
Put one in the
Yeah.
chat room if you went through a thug. Ladies, put one in the chat room if you had a thug phase, and put two if you never had a thug. Look at that one. She says I've always enjoyed a balance. I like thug smart guy. Anybody still in their thug phase? Put 3 if you're still in the thug phase. I was the thug. She said Maya said she's still in the thug phase. Hilarious. Yeah.
Olaf said he was a thug.
Yeah. Dr. Mira would be a type of woman that I would just admire. Oh, that's sweet. And Kedra says 2, so no, she didn't have a thug phase. From Key West. Yeah, Key West women don't like thugs.
I'm not from Key West.
No, I'm talking about Kedra though. She is.
Kedra, look, yeah, some of them do. She'll be able to tell you too. She's just not one of
them. No. Edge and Brain. But you know what though? I think thugs though. I think somehow people get thugs mixed up with like Tupac fantasy, that he's like a Tupac. Most thugs though.
Poet and
most thugs ain't that deep like that. Most thugs ain't that deep like that. Keep it 100.
I mean, because then you got past Thug Life, Nipsey Hussle.
Mm-hmm.
And he was that deep. They're rare.
Rare. Very rare. Rare. Most of the ones I came across, they ain't that bright.
A redneck thug.
Redneck thug, right? What's that dude? What's that guy's name? Joe Exotic thug. Like he in jail, and I will wait till he get out and get a good job. Right. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. Could you date a guy that just got out? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because everybody that's in jail ain't guilty.
That's true, but this Negro's guilty. He did.
Oh, well, if he guilty, yeah, I'm gonna have to go for a hard no.
Business thugs. Hilarious. Yeah. And what constitutes a guy as a thug, though? Is it that he's lived a life of crime? Is it he walks with his pants sagging? He dresses the part? Is it? I mean, what makes a guy like a thug? Is it like, can you have not been to jail but be a thug?
Yeah. I mean, that's like saying, can you be a nerd and not do anime and comics. I mean, there are layers to nerds, just like there are layers to thugs.
Can you be a thug and never committed any crimes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not necessarily that you haven't committed any crime; it's did you get caught?
Okay. All right.
Because that's what defines someone who's committed a crime.
Just not get caught. Well, I mean, if he ain't committing, he's never committed any crimes at all. Like he's never. I mean, he's.
So what? He just don't want to sit in the car getting contact while everybody else getting high?
Pretty much. I mean, do you have to have
By association?
I know a lot of thugs who didn't get caught. Yeah, but see, they're not getting caught though. I mean, like, they're not really criminals. Maybe they're just tough guys, but they're not criminals. Not that they didn't get caught. They're not really criminals. My father did not play that. Dating the thug, Keidra.
Yeah. Look, neither did my mother. Just like, not the road you want to go down.
Dr. Amira, do you have any daughters that are like teenagers or young adults who are single? I have a question for all our kids. Are they all like with somebody? My daughter is 30 years old and 30 years old. Dr. Amira, I thought you was 30 years old. You had her when you was 5? All right, what would you have done if your daughter came home with a thug? Oh, she has tried. How did that go? See, Andre, lucky he got sons, so he don't have to worry about that. She said, I got rid of them. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, what do you think is harder, or is it hard? I guess they all have their issues. Dealing with 12-year-old boy shit or 12-year-old girl shit. As a parent. I think I can. 12-year-old boy shit is like, to me, a breeze.
It probably is.
Both, I have 2 boys and 1 girl so far.
I mean, because you think you're on the cusp of probably her starting her menstruation. Yeah, that can be a terror, an emotional nightmare.
Yeah, I feel like anything a boy bring, I can handle that. Whereas your daughter, maybe it's not fair, but I don't know. I mean, you're protective of your boys too, but that will break my whole heart. Yeah. Like, yeah, she got on my friend's nerves. It wasn't because it was a girl, it's because she is a Pisces. Hilarious. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the kind of problems the boy is bringing home, but
yeah, that's true. I mean, that's absolutely true.
But once young girls start dating, and then she brings that knucklehead home and all of that, you got to deal with that. So
we got to have some conversation.
One of the boys I want to adopt is a Pisces. I would just checking them knuckleheaded boyfriends. Yeah. Yeah, it's like how much can you beat up your daughter's boyfriend?
How much can you what?
Beat up your daughter's boyfriend.
You could be smart about it.
How much they want to date my daughter? Hilarious. Dana is in the Facebook chat. Cool. I used to clean my guns in front of him. Hilarious. Hilarious. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, but okay, this is what I gather from you. You didn't give your mother any problems. You were a nice, sweet. You probably got straight A's.
About me?
Yes. Yeah. she probably never had to wonder where you were at. You weren't in the back seat of some guy's car. You were, you were probably at Bible study all the time. He said, "Who, Shannon?" He said,
I'm like, well, I wasn't a saint, but I wasn't a sinner. Meaning, I wasn't in the back of no boy's car. I wasn't sneaking out the window. I wasn't doing that per se. But I was always talking in class, and all my progress report notes always like she's always talking to her peers instead of waiting for them to get done with their work too, because I was usually done first. And then sometimes I just didn't want to do my work at all, and that caught up to me December 1st.
See, but I can deal with that. Like, I would rather deal with she talked too much in class, and then we caught her in the back seat of somebody's car.
I mean, I did say I wasn't no saint.
Like,
I mean, because you catch me in the back of the car don't mean I didn't have him in the closet.
I have a homegirl who works in school administration, and we're talking like, how old is fifth grade? What's
10,
that?
11.
Okay, so we're talking about 10, 11-year-olds, right? I think maybe up to 12. She'd be talking about the mischief that they catch these kids doing. Mm-hmm. It's bananas. Like, some of the stuff I can't even mention because it's like, I'm sitting there like, I don't remember when I was in 5th grade even partaking in some of this stuff that they're doing. Like, one story I'll tell you is they found out that this one girl there was a sex tape going around of this one girl, and it was shot at the school in the boys' bathroom. And so they finally, they brought her in, and she basically said that she was filming an audition tape because she wanted to do porn. This girl. So they basically, this girl had no, she wasn't embarrassed that so many people had seen it. This was just what she meant to do, So, I'm sitting there like, I don't remember stuff like that in the 5th grade, but I did go to religious school up until high school. So, but, I'm like, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know, like, was stuff like that? I mean, not necessarily doing porn, but was stuff like that popping off at your school?
Getting into compromising situations with people?
Like sex tape type stuff.
I wouldn't necessarily say in junior high school. That wasn't, people were making out and things like
we did that. We did that.
People in and out their parents' house. Like, I think the worst thing I did in my mother's house was have a party when she was in Canada. And yeah, I'll never live that one down.
Oh, you got caught?
What happened was my godbrother's mother called my mom and said, "Oh, thank you for having Mikey over for the party." My mom was like, "What party?"
Oh.
It was a mess, needless to say.
What, Shannon did that? Our little Shannon?
I was, what was that, freshman year in high school? Yeah, it had to be 97 because Chicago Bulls played the Toronto Raptors. I think it might have been 97. Yeah. Yep. Never forget it. My mom actually called up to the church because that's the day she found out. And they came and got me out of the congregation. And my mom was like, "You get home right now." I was like, "But how am I going to get home? We're in church." Figure it out, but you need to get home right now.
Was Kim at the party? And Audrey?
Audrey wasn't. We weren't, because Audrey's 3 years older than me. So we weren't friends my freshman year like that. Right. We were friends we went to church every Sunday together. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, was Kim there? Mm-hmm. Some of our mutual friends were there, but not to my knowledge. I don't think Kim was there. Was she invited? Yes, but I don't think she was there. But I don't remember half the people that were there, to be honest. But needless to say, several people, meaning more than 2, spend the night at my house.
Ooh. Males?
Yeah, I got a lot of trouble behind that.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh.
I didn't get a whooping though, because I thought she was gonna beat me to a pulp.
Wow.
But I did not get a whooping. But I was on punishment for a very long
Wow. I think you just got off of it last week, right?
You might be right. You might be right. I feel like it sometimes. I just got off punishment.
Wow, that's crazy. Man. It's funny though. Dana was talking about doing Lyft, and I've done Uber, right? And you meet some of the most interesting people. I swear, I've met people in from political realm, entertainment. You meet all kind of interesting folks in there, and you meet your everyday people. A lot of people come in visiting LA from Florida. I get quite a bit. A lot of Orlando. A lot of people from Orlando come in here. I swear I get that quite a bit, which I don't know. You wouldn't think so, right? Because Orlando is kind of a destination spot, I guess, right? You been to Orlando?
Bye, Olaf. Yes, I have been to Orlando.
You been to Disney World?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't been to Disney World. I've been to Disneyland a million times.
And I'm an anomaly. I went and spent not a dime.
Oh, how'd you do that?
My friend, shout outs to the Johnson family. His dad works at Disney. And so I was just getting off a cruise week of my birthday with my family, church family. And my mom and then went back to Nebraska, and I took the train over from Tampa to Orlando to hang out with them. And his dad had to work, so he was like, you guys want to go with me to work and I'll get you guys in. And so we did that for like 3 days. And it was like the best time of my life. I was like, and that was my first time, only time actually. And seeing I've lived in Florida now for 7 years, I haven't went back. But when it reopens, because now I want to go, I will be going.
She said she was afraid of Mickey Mouse. The day Mouse can get it. You know what? When I was a kid, they had the Transformers there, right? And so I was a big fan of the TV show, The Transformers. I was really young. I was under 10, I guess. And I actually got afraid of the big Transformer guy, because he was. Yeah, I didn't want to take a picture with him.
That's funny.
Because he wasn't like Mickey Mouse is like, hi, how you doing? And Optimus Prime is like, hey, like he has that commanding voice, and then they have the thing where he walks and it was like, I was like, oh man, he's not like the dude from the cartoon. This guy, I didn't want no pieces of that. So
yeah. I don't know. But I'm just ready to.
Yeah. I had a buddy who was Goofy at Disneyland for a while. He hated that job.
That's exciting.
He hated it because just like you think the kids treated him like crap, he was getting kicked. Of course,
because he's not Mickey.
Right. They treated him pretty goofy. So. But then again, they got women who like that thing though.
Of course they do. Yeah. You remember when I sent you that picture of that dress? Okay, so I got that dress, but there's like 4 dresses in that series. So t-shirt dresses. So apparently she was supposed to drop another version of one of those versions yesterday, and she didn't. And so she dropped it an hour before we started, and I had just caught that she had dropped it. And of course, larges and extra larges are all sold out. So I'm sitting here inboxing her like, oh, I missed it again. And her caption said she wasn't going to restock after this drop. Dude, I've been trying to purchase these dresses since 1902. Why did she just inbox me and say, what size do you need?
See, it's karma. It's all karma.
Hey, I made her some really good money a week and a half ago. She had posted the one shirt the dress I told you I got.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and messaged every single person on that thread and said, the dress has been restocked. You better go get it before it's sold out. And I think from my messaging those people, I want to say like 12 or 13 people bought the dress.
Mm. Oh, shit. Yeah, hell yeah. That's, yeah.
Oh, because she was like, I'm going to get you some free shipping. I got to find a way to hook you up for helping out. I was like, it's all love. I've been wanting this dress since you first debuted it. So now that I've gotten it, of course, I'm going to share with everybody else. You better get this dress. This might be the final restock. So that's why I want to come to LA. So I go to her shop.
You know, I know bras are expensive for you, right?
I hate them, but continue.
You know, I'm not going to say the C word, but people have been wanting masks, right? And I saw a hack where you can turn your bra into a mask. So you can actually, I forgot what cup it is, though. I'm assuming your cups would probably be a little too big for a mask. Unless you were trying to cover the whole face.
Didn't we have this conversation already? We had this conversation.
Did we?
Was it last week? Remember I was telling you I'd ordered a bra that was too big?
Right.
And I said, maybe I need to turn it into something else. And you were like, people are using them as masks. And I was like, this thing is really big. I wish I knew where it was right now in my room. I would literally show y'all.
It's expensive. I got masks. Oh, she got masks. All right. Dr. Amira.
Like,
because you got the Eyes Wide Shut mask.
I got some masks.
No, that's what I'm saying. But they have that kind of feel to it, that Victorian Mardi Gras type thing. Oh, you got N95 masks. How much? I mean, how much do they cost? She said she had them a while ago. Are these ones that you made or that you acquired? How's Teddy doing? Is he awake?
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm responding back to Gaynell, the person that's giving me this dress.
Nice.
Or sending the invoice for this dress. What about Teddy?
Yeah, how's he doing?
He's good. He in his kennel. See, here he comes.